the industry has faced hiring challenges for a number of years, and if you're going to go through that process, you want to try to make sure you get it right. And Giles has come up with a way to help. Nothing's perfect, but to help make it better. So, I guess kind of what made you start this idea? Was it just the general challenges with hiring, or how did you go from taxes to testing?
Yeah, that's right. Look, and we've all got there's always like a seminal moment that is the thing that causes you to do something.
Right.
And we'd had frustrations as all firms do, for hiring people who turned out to be not what was on the tin. Um, and but I had this particular experience, which again is probably not that uncommon, where we hired this person who they interviewed great. We really connected at interview. Their resume was exactly what we were looking for, and I really liked this person. They started with us, and it was just a train wreck, and we just couldn't work out what it was that we'd got wrong. But accountants are always a bit slow of perhaps making those hard decisions. That's one of the things that we're not that necessarily that good at. We're conflict avoiders generally. So we struggled on with this person for some time, and it was a miserable experience for us and for them. And eventually we had to let them go. And I guess it was that particular moment that it was like, surely there's a better way. And you'd have thought PwC would have all the measures in place for these sorts of things, and they don't, and they didn't, and I suspect they still don't, because this is not the way that firms have traditionally thought about hiring. It's been a really sort of, if you like, a lax process. So we went out looking for some testing that we could use, skills tests. Show me that you can do in this case, it was like a staff accountant sort of level. Show me that you're at staff accountant level. And we just couldn't find anything. We trawled the world looking for testing. And so that was a bit of a light bulb moment. It's like, surely somebody should create something that if I want to test for, a staff accountant or a tax senior or whatever, I can just pick one off the shelf and deliver it to them with the knowledge that it's actually going to work. And that it's the science is there, and I've got my legal stuff covered and all the rest of it. And so that was the genesis, I guess, of the idea to start account tests.
Yeah, I mean, I guess people submit a resume or post their resume online, and you have a couple of conversations and interview, maybe several people talk to them, and then it's sort of like you roll the dice. You think you might be a good fit, but you're right, without some sort of testing of knowledge or personality, or how they would fit with the firm culture, what their strengths or their weaknesses are, it's really hard to know if the candidate's right or not right. And it's extremely expensive to pick the wrong candidate, as you mentioned. Yeah.
Well, that's right. And CPA Practice Advisor did a really interesting survey. It's probably about 18 months ago now, but I'm sure it hasn't changed, about how many people lie on their resumes. And it's surprising. And actually the highest, the people who lie the most are the most qualified. Maybe they've got more to lie about. But, it's literally, 80 or 90% of people lie on their resumes, and most of them do it all the time. And it's a question of sort of what is lying and what's a stretching of the truth, if you're talking about your, experience or, the sort of work that you've done.